Dopamine. The neurochemical that causes you to distract yourself, overeat, and waste hours on TikTok. But what if you could turn that same dopamine system into your #1 ally? What if it could become your most powerful tool for deep focus and high performance? Let me tell you a story I will never forget. It was the 9th day of a completely silent Zen meditation retreat. I meditated for 16 hours a day. No talking, no reading, no writing. The food was bland and tasteless, without any spices. After the retreat, I took a taxi home. As I sat in the back seat, my fingers were shaking slightly above my phone screen. The feeling of anticipation was a mix of excitement and anxiety. And then the messages flooded in. The notifications exploded. The dopamine reward I received in that moment felt intoxicating, like a powerful drug. But the real magic happened the next day. Still in a deep, meditative state, I rediscovered the simple parts of life. I decided to start a huge, boring, and difficult task that I had been procrastinating on for months. And to my complete surprise, my attention was pulled into the present moment. I entered a flow state almost immediately. That is the optimal state of deep focus, where effort disappears and productivity soars. The task that I once hated now fascinated me. Hours passed by like minutes. Any impulse to do something else was defeated by the thrill of discovery and problem-solving. My brain had been resensitized to find the reward in the work itself. How did this happen? How did something that was once so boring become so rewarding? The answer is in reprogramming your dopamine. In today's video, we are not going to talk about dopamine detox anymore. We are going to a higher level, mastering your dopamine system to make it the engine for your success. First, we need to correct a common misunderstanding. Scientifically, you cannot detox from dopamine. It is an essential neurotransmitter. We cannot function without it. Dopamine plays a key role in creating our focus mechanism. So the correct goal is not to eliminate it, but to resensitize your dopamine receptors. Think of it like your ROI on dopamine, your return on investment on dopamine. The question is, how much stimulation do you need to feel rewarded? Low ROI. You need to play video games, scroll TikTok, and eat ice cream at the same time to feel satisfied. You need a huge amount of stimulation for a small unit of reward. High ROI. You can feel a hit of dopamine just by listening to a beautiful song or watching a sunset. You only need a small amount of stimulation to feel rewarded. Our goal is to become a wise dopamine investor who can get the highest ROI. We want to be highly sensitive to rewards so that even low stimulation tasks can capture our attention and feel satisfying. I had to meditate for 16 hours a day to achieve that. But you don't have to. There are much simpler ways, strategies you can use in minutes instead of days of silence. Here are the 3 secrets to mastering your dopamine system. This is a counterintuitive strategy, but it is one of the most powerful. Think about how most people take breaks when they are working. What do? They scroll social media, check email, or read the news. This is a critical mistake. Why? Because they are taking a break with an activity that is more stimulating than the work they are trying to focus on. Imagine trying to read a dry scientific paper after scrolling through TikTok for an hour. Compared to the instant and infinite novelty of social media, that research paper will feel incredibly boring. Now, let's reverse the situation. Try sitting still and staring at a blank wall for 10 minutes. Do nothing. Don't even meditate. Just look. Suddenly, that scientific paper will seem surprisingly interesting. This is the core principle. Make the time before and between your work sessions as boring as possible. By lowering your stimulation baseline, you are making your work, no matter how tedious, feel more attractive in comparison. Some ways to practice boring breaks. Take a 15 to 20-minute nap. Go for a light walk. Do some simple stretching exercises. Practice mindful breathing. And my personal favorite, no jokes, is wall staring. I will stop working, look at a wall for 5 to 10 minutes, and just let my mind settle down. The goal is to starve your brain of dopamine so that it craves to get back to work. Because the dopamine-seeking rat inside your brain will always find a way to get what it wants. It's better to have it pull you back to your work instead of keeping you stuck on distractions. The second secret targets a modern, unconscious habit: filling every empty moment with stimulation. Take a minute and think. The last time you were waiting in line, waiting for an elevator, or sitting alone at a table while a friend went to the bathroom, what did you do? My guess is you pulled out your phone. We are so used to reaching for our phones for a quick dopamine hit in these in-between moments that it has become an automatic reflex. Inhabiting the in-between means using these moments to simply settle down, to bring your mind back to the present. When you do this, you are cutting out the unintentional consumption of information, the thing that breaks your attention and continues to desensitize your dopamine receptors. A few tips to practice this. When you arrive early for a meeting, just sit quietly without your phone. When waiting in line, pay attention to your breath. When commuting to work, try driving, riding the train, or walking in silence. At first, you will be forced to face the present moment, to tolerate moments with low stimulation. But over time, your baseline for what's boring will change. You will become more sensitive. You will develop a monk-like quality of mind, which is the perfect foundation for deep focus and flow. The final secret is a subtle but powerful change in how we interact with the world. It is do everything, one thing at a time, with singular focus. This simple action has a deep effect on your brain chemistry. To understand this, we need to know about two main networks in the brain. The default mode network, DMN. This is active when you are not focused on anything specific, when your mind is wandering. The task positive network, TPN. This is active when you are highly focused on a task. These two networks work like a switch. When one is on, the other is off. When we multitask, for example, walking while texting, we are forcing our brain to switch constantly and rapidly between the DMN and TPN. This uses up energy and weakens our ability to concentrate. In contrast, when you practice doing one thing at a time, you are strengthening your ability to switch decisively from the wandering state, DMN, to the focused state, TPN. This ability to switch quickly and effectively is a superpower for entering a flow state. Because when you can switch to the TPN faster, you get more focusing neurochemicals, including dopamine, delivered to the system. This makes the work feel more engaging and easier. To train this ability, the method is very simple. When you eat, just eat. Feel the taste of the food. When you work, just work. When you have a conversation, just converse. Listen completely. Embrace life as a series of singular activities instead of scattered efforts to get dopamine from constant novelty seeking. Conclusion: turning work into play. To master your dopamine system. To make it the engine that drives you forward and helps you achieve peak performance, remember these 3 secrets. Take boring breaks so that what's tedious becomes rewarding. Inhabit the in-between moments to reset your sensitivity to reward. Do everything one thing at a time to train your superpower of entering deep focus. The ultimate goal is to turn your work into play. That is the greatest competitive advantage you can have. Which of these 3 secrets was most powerful for you? Please leave a comment below and share the strategy you are going to try. Here at English Richness, we will continue to share the latest neuroscience research on flow state and peak performance. We believe this is more than just English listening practice. These are life lessons that can unlock richness in your life. Please subscribe so we can continue on this journey of turning work into joy together. Better English, better life.